Hello, protoforms. I don't know. How are things? It's a little dusty. But just gonna get ready. Wait for people to drop into the chat. If you're watching this on replay, you might just want to skip ahead a little bit because we just do this little wind up where we get everyone on the same page. Of course, I have nobody watching. So now we get 4. There's people. Here come the people. I'm not just talking to myself, which I can do. Or I can talk to you future viewers. Thanks for stopping by. Shark and Lila say hi and what's up. Hey and what's up. So we'll talk about this dude. He's a confusing thing. I've had him for a while and I had to relearn him. But I learned him a little better than I had previously. It's easy to get really mixed up when it comes to this whole center part here. Because the arms go around a hinge around the center. These things have their own orbit around the center. And the head has its own orbit around the center. If you don't keep them straight, you can get a little confused about where they go. So since he's already in robot mode, we'll send him to vehicle mode, and then we'll do the combine mode, so I can just put him back in ready to go storage. Going back to vehicle mode. All right. First thing we need to do is this will move relative to this, but you have to just kind of get the right angle on it. I find it helps just to move it down to where this little seam is. And then I put those away. I lift them up a little bit occasionally as I move this around, so you kind of have to do that or they'll get caught. We are going to vehicle mode, so robot mode is this way with the large tabs facing forward. And more importantly, these little tabs for the arms facing forward. But for vehicle mode, arbitrarily, you just have to turn around the other way, 180 degrees. And then it helps when going to any mode other than this mode that you have the arms turned around that way. Now the main trick here is we need to get, let's get them separated. We need to get these treads reversed on this. Now, a mnemonic device, if you will, would be you can't go very far this way before you run into a bind. So if you want to turn it 180 degrees, you're going to have to turn it the other way 180 degrees. So that's how you remember. It just goes around. I might have screwed up here because you got to have enough room. Yeah. You have to get this turned around first. I'm sorry. I should have mentioned it. But you need to get this turned around before you invert it. So we'll get that one done. But you'll find that it plugs in fairly easily once you get it turned around. And we'll just do this one again real quick. Just helps to 180 that. Then you can turn this around. And you plug those in. And then we need to get the treads set. So this opens up and there are tabs, not only to open it up, but there are also tabs for slots that exist. It'll probably be hard to see this slot, but it's right there at the very apex of the tread section. So basically you want the middle of the tread section to be pointed in the same direction that these tabs were pointing. And you should find that you can take the tab and you can put it in the little slot. And that kind of locks this wheel relative to the center wheel. So we'll just do the same thing over here. And then we can flip up the treads now that everything's locked together and we have a little more leverage. The head just kind of stores away like that. And then these things Remember, they're kind of the middle item in these joints, so it's very stiff to move. But we're just going to move this. And when we go in the other direction, you'll see we'll have to lift these up so they don't get caught on these. So they just have to ride a little higher than completely down. I bring that all the way around to that side. And then the arms, we'll just lift that up. Yeah, and this goes out of the way too. They tab in. And you could straighten out the whole side panel and tab it in if you wanted to. I just found it more manageable to do it this way. This is a really tough joint. It's a little scary. Maybe it'll break one day. But it's meant to really lock that arm in there so it doesn't... you wouldn't want that joint to be active during combined mode. You wouldn't want this floating. So we'll turn these all the way around as far as they'll go, which is 90 degrees out. They're really strong joints too because I think they're used for the combined mode. No, they're not. They're just strong joints for no good reason. This actually tabs in pretty solidly there, so you have to get it to separate. And then we just bring the joint together, including the tip. I find there's a little bit of logic to this if you want to know how to arrange the arm. In this position, this sort of fake piston cylinder is lined up with the piston of the other part of the arm. So logic dictates that it's supposed to be about like that. I'm not positive about this bottom joint, but once again, these pistons should be attached here. So I think it makes sense to get them at least barely touching. And then everything else is, you could just adjust this so it poses like that, if you will. And then these flip down. And you're done. You got yourself what my kid used to call an excavator. But we beat him. We beat that out of him. It's excavator. Say it right. You know. No, but when he was a little kid, he said excavator, and it was funny. So we're not going to go through. I guess this is a rare opportunity because the video, because I simplify it for these, I don't go in with the full primordial mode and full 6-change. It would be too tedious. It's not that hard to figure out. But in this case, we'll actually see it go straight from it won't. Oh, I'm doing it the wrong direction. Silly. I don't know what I'm doing. What am I doing? All right. And then you get these separated and stowed. These tend to pop off, not too easily, but just while you're manipulating, they can pop off pretty easily. So we'll get these separated. And we have to get this relative to the head. Remember this, I said these get caught. But we do want to advance this around so it's... The best mnemonic I can think of is you kind of want it to just point the same direction as the head. That's kind of where it parks while you're getting everything else arranged. So we bring this around, bring this around. But in this case, what we want to do is flatten these legs out like this, flip up this unused before flap, and they attach together like that. And then, while this is still kind of parked here, you can rotate, make those stay. It doesn't do to have them get too close. But you're just going to flip that all the way through so his head goes through. And then I think, I'll be proven wrong one day when we get overload, but I think you need the slot to be facing forward. Because it seems what they have planned here is that this has a bit of a waist swivel that actually occurs up by the shoulders. So, you know, the bottom... The hips and the belly will be plugged in like here. And this thing will be able to kind of turn back and forth, I think. All right, so then these we want to send these all the way around. And if we look at the back here, the head again flips down to hide. But if you look around here, you can bring these all the way around and start feeding these through the hole. And so they sit nice and flat. And I have Mixmaster, and it seems like that lines everything up properly, because basically the back wheels plug on here, and then hooks even further back snap onto there, and you've got your Mixmaster kind of hanging off the front here. For the arms, this flips around. I've actually got a little piece of sticky on it because it... Oh my god, sorry. Those plug in there at like a permanent angle. And you do want this thing here. It's supposed to tab, but it doesn't tab great. And then make sure this is plugged in right. And then these flip down. Remember that hard snap. Lower that. Lower that. And then this forearm spins 180, and it kind of plugs into itself to kind of park the scoops up top where they won't cause any harm to nobody. There we go. And so that is the torso. Flip that up. There we go. No, I like it down. I think there's going to be better range of motion with it down. These can actually rotate forward. And so you do get a little bit of a shoulder articulation. And the reason this joint is so tight is because it needs to hold that whole other figure on as the forearm. But, this might be kind of a loose pose for it, just hanging out. So that's that. Let's take a break and catch up on comments. There's all kinds of comments. Oh my gosh, he looks really cool. Literally just watched about the murder hornets on TV. The murder hornets, right? Right? Yeah, they're probably not a big deal. I saw a cool video of a praying mantis grabbed a murder hornet and ate it. The murder hornet didn't stand a chance. Does it roll? Yes, it does roll. I'm sorry, I should have mentioned. But you can see it has wheels built into the treads. So they do exist. This part doesn't roll though. I mean, these will roll because there's actually it'll roll. This, of course, is attached by this thick stem here, so the top wheel can't actually roll. It doesn't. It's permanently affixed. Hope that answers any rolling questions we have. Do I have all the Devastator figures? No, I will shortly have Scrapper, and then the only one missing will be Overload, which is the other leader class figure that forms the hips. But I've got everything else. I still have to shoot Mixmaster, and then I'll have to shoot Scrapper, and then I'll have to shoot Overload. And then I guess when I shoot Overload, I'll have at the end of that video where it all kind of comes together. Maybe I can edit some sort of supercut. Oh, that's cool. You transformed along. Fun. Maybe we should have a transform along, but everyone would have to have the same figure. My stop motion stuff is frickin' fantastic and damn impressed. Well, thank you. Thank you, Logan. I appreciate that. A lot of times the really popular videos are the better figures. Dragoon comes out, it's a brilliant transformation, and it's easy to shoot that into a video that people actually want to watch. But I like to do the studio series because I imagine there's people out there that have them and enjoy seeing them discussed or maybe learn something. Yes, I have a lot of patience, but it should be spelled with the C. Patience. That's interesting. So what's the figure in the background? Okay, well, let's talk about a couple other things. I have some incoming, which is what I said I would talk about. This is Toy World's ancient figure. This is old school Toy World from I don't know, 5 years ago, 8 years ago, I don't know. But this is Toy World's take on Astro Train. It's another one of those ones that's notoriously fiddly. So in the spirit of trying to teach people how to do difficult figures or do them in a better order, I've been working on this guy because I got him on Monday from a seller in New York. Thanks, guy that sold me this. He put it up for a decent price, I thought, and I was like, I'll take that thing on. I'll figure it out. But maybe more fun. Let's play what's in the box. I suspect which is which, but I might be wrong. I'll start with what is in this. I don't want to show too much information. That doesn't seem right. But what is in this Hasbro Pulse box? Anyone care to guess? Hasbro Pulse. Yeah, that Toy World Astro Train's a bit of a bitch. And he has some design flaws that I could point out on the live stream whenever I do them. I won't be doing him for a couple of weeks, though. Alright, let's see what was in the Hasbro Pulse box. Is everyone ready? I don't have a drum roll thing, so... That's what's in the Hasbro Pulse box. Look at it. Now, I thought I was going to get Scrapper first based on my shipping notifications, but somehow this one got here a day ahead of time. A day ahead of Scrapper. So that'll be fun to check out. If he's interesting, I'll bring him up next. I mean, if he's particularly interesting, he's a Voyager scale. I could probably stop motion him one day. But not anytime soon. Not soon. Alright, let's move on to this Show Z Store box. What did I get from Show Z Store? I don't know. It's like you get nothing for weeks and weeks, and then everything comes in at once. Show Z is always interesting to open their packaging, but God bless them. They you have horror stories about people getting stuff from China that's all busted up, and this crazy approach they take is certainly effective. They used to do styrofoam. Maybe they ran out of styrofoam or it became cost ineffective, but the last couple of shipments I've got were the box of the figure has the corner reinforcers, which is nice, and it's bubble wrapped and then wrapped in basically it's thicker than a trash bag. It's a very heavy plastic and covered with tape and sent along its way. Those guys do a really good job with packaging, and the 12 minutes it takes you to get into the packaging really makes you anticipate the moment. Sorry for all the crinkling noises. I'm not going to do this on camera because I think you know how one takes bubble wrap off of a package, but maybe that takes away from the fun. I don't know. It's so confusing. I really don't got to worry about what all 8 of you like to watch. I am sorry. This is a process. There we go. There go the corner thingies. Oh my God. There you go. Oh, I can see that this is not the figure I thought it was. So this, I think, is this week's figure. Anyone care to guess? Oh, Lila, did you see, have you seen my old Leader Class Sentinel Prime video? That was an interesting figure. I'll give you another minute to contemplate this. It's a pretty good guess. You could probably just Google it or put it into a store website. But if I'm not mistaken, this is what I think it is. So we'll open the box. You don't read. You don't read like, what? You don't read. You're typing. Alright. Yep. This is the opposite of what I thought it was, given the size of the box. But they just smashed it in there. Transform Element Metal Deformation. These are the same guys that made that really interesting Transform Element Optimus Prime. The sort of the video I did was on the black version of him, the Scourge version, the evil Optimus Prime version. But this is I thought about getting Zetas, but there's some stuff I didn't like about it. One problem I have with Zetas, I guess some people really like weathering effects, and it's cool and all, but I found it really distracting on the Zeta, and I didn't like the way the weathering effects didn't line up with the panels. Like they painted it before they assembled it, and I don't know. I thought it looked kind of dumb. All right, let's see here. Here's what the inside shell looks like. So they've used those snap ties to hold the shell together instead of tape, which is interesting. But we'll just cut that. And we'll lift the clamshell off. And let's start with a little tease. Here's the arm blade. And here's the other arm blade. Fascinating. Here is the face mask. So I guess the face mask doesn't transform. You have to kind of assemble it. Hopefully it's not too bad. And the gun arm, which does look like it just pegs in somewhere. All right. And then the figure itself, it's got a little protective film on him. But a very handsome Masterpiece or MPM grade Bumblebee. I'm really, I mean, I've seen pictures and stuff, but I'm pleased with how good this looks. It's nice. And it's heavy. It's got a fair amount of die cast on it. And, more important, as much as I liked how clever that MPM 7 Bumblebee was, it was not movie accurate because they got greedy. They decided that, well, we'll have this special Masterpiece movie line, but we'll make figures of figures that haven't really even been finalized. Which is a sin that Studio Series is doing, too. If you remember the original, what's her name? Not Dropkick, but the red, the one that turned into a jet from the Bumblebee movie, and also turned into a red muscle car. Whatever her name is. The original figure that came out that turned in the one that turned in the muscle car has the head all wrong. Again, because Studio Series was supposed to be, you know, like modern interpretations of classic studio or, you know, movie characters, and instead they're not waiting until the movie's actually finalized to start producing them. I mean, I realize they want to get their shit out in time. But I like this. The whole roof panel folds up in on itself a couple of times. Kind of rolls up. And that really got my attention because I love the Transformers Prime Viacon. Not the first edition Viacon, but just the regular mainline Viacon was a really good... This thing is excellently sculpted. I really like it. It's going to be a good video. But they got the back right. He's even got kind of a spine. Very nice. Very nice figure. Alright, well that turns our attention to the biggest box that I thought contained this one. And surprisingly heavy. What is in this? This doesn't even seem like it could be the thing I thought it was. How big is that thing? I should show you the box, right? Have the fun. Ooh, it's another Show Z store box. Basically wrapped up the same way as the other one. Which means I gotta gnaw my way through all the protective measures. The very effective protective measures. Get rid of these corner protectors. That's what one of those looks like, by the way. But even so, these are like the raw boxes from the factory. So it's like a box inside a box inside a box. Or technically a box inside a box. Inside a bag, inside a bag. Inside a bag? I don't know. There's a lot of layers. But that's what this looks like. I don't know if that's a clue. It is really surprisingly heavy. I was not expecting this thing to be heavy. Is this just something I didn't... That's nice. The company, it comes with a nice little gift bag for no particular reason. Just a little gift bag. That's nice. How friendly. And then this is what's in the box. Let's see if we got the front. Cute Protect Commander. I saw this and I was like, I gotta. And then we'll just shake the camera for 15 minutes while I take this picture. So that's another bag. So it's a box. I don't know. I can't keep track. Well, this is like very sort of, you know, iPhone level packaging. Like, it's really nice packaging. It's got the magnetic flap. And then, let's see, there's a protective foam thing in here. Let's see if there's a big figure reveal when I take the foam away. Oh, I guess so. Here's the instructions. And there he is. He comes with a big diorama piece, I guess. I don't know. Let's see if we can get him out of the packaging. It's just such a funny figure. I mean, it's a chibi style, you know, Last Night Megatron a la Dragoon. Except he's got a big giant head. No wonder this thing's so heavy. This is like a solid chunk of resin. It comes with a couple of nice... It's really nice packaging. I mean, it's like... If I ever threw away the packaging for my figures, I swear I'd have to keep this one, because it's just surprisingly well thought out. Alright, so we're putting that back together and let the little magnet seal it. Very nice. Alright. So what do you think of that? Isn't that crazy? And the thing is, it doesn't turn into a chibi-style jet. By the time you're done, oh, it just broke, like, instantly. That's funny. That's great. So that doesn't speak very well to its quality. I think I can probably put that back together with, like, a binary epoxy or something. That just sucks. That is, I mean, for all their fancy schmancy packaging, they couldn't deliver a figure that wasn't broken. The problem is there's a big ball joint there and a little skinny arm. And I went to rotate the ball joint and it just twisted the arm off. Smart. This one was okay. But this one is broken. What a son of a bitch. I've got a few weeks before I shoot them. I'll have to try to epoxy that. Or maybe a piece of tape. I don't know if it has to pass, if it's got low clearance for something it has to do later. That is bumming me. That sucks. But not due to the packaging. I blame this manufacturer. They didn't do a good job. At least, you know, maybe it's just a total freak thing. So there he is without his goddamned arm. Oh well. Let's see. Transform element, third-party Bumblebee, yep. Let's see, chrome wheels. I'm just catching up on comments real quick. MPM3 is kind of a mess, to be honest. MPM3, Bumblebee? I like that one. I like how the flat panels stack up inside his torso. Let's see. Man, it's such a bummer that this broke like that. And I don't even know how you'd repair it. How would you get a replacement part of that? Super frustrating. Wow. Is the arm stuck? Yeah, it pretty much was. The ball was completely stuck. Now it's loose, but too late. Wonder if they just tighten it down too much. I wish I actually had my screwdrivers, but I don't think I do. I might still have something small enough on here. Because obviously I'll have to take this apart to get the thing re-glued. Oh, come on now. Seriously. There we go. It's magnetic. Set that aside. Lose it. Perfect. Come here, screw. Thank you. All right. What did that do for me? Should let me separate the joint. It's made out of kind of a weird rubbery plastic, though. I think that's part of its problem. It's like not made out of a high grade. I don't know. It's strange. But this should definitely separate at this point. But it's probably got paint adhering it together. Let's use a spludger. Where does it separate? It's almost just like a joint to tighten it. That's interesting. There's a hinge here, but I don't know if I can get it clear. There we go. I do have the screw out, but at this point it's that is a really tight. It's almost like they painted the ball and they assembled it and the paint stuck. Well, that's a hell of a thing. It is a separate part right there. But I just don't know why it won't probably painted pegs keeping it from separating. There we go. Because you know, if the factory's going to send me like a part in 6 weeks or whatever, I gotta know that I can actually get this thing out. Doesn't look like it though. I mean, there's a big ball right there. Maybe I can just push it out through this slot. Make sure I've got everything gripped firmly. There we go. So we got this ball. Dropped it. It's not die cast. It's just very flimsy. Made out of a very flimsy material. That could be tough to fix. I'll have to kind of play with it and see how the transformation affects that joint. If I could wrap tape on it, then that would help reinforce it. Or like get some sort of cellophane and epoxy and like really just kind of make it one thing. Build it up. Fortunately, it has like these grooves in it, and that could help. I could fill those with like a binary epoxy, and it would probably hold it together pretty good. I have to rough it up. I have to get some like, I have to get like a tiny file to get. There's kind of a oil. Interesting. Interesting. There's like an oil inside the joint. I've never seen anyone spend this much effort on a ball joint that in the end is made out of a pretty weak material. Super frustrating, man. Yeah, he's just one of those figures that's constructed in such a way that you look at something and you're like, well, I think that's a joint, but it doesn't want to bend. What do I do? Weird. It's a strange material. It's like a rubbery, it's like slightly rubbery. Those might be die cast. But it's interesting because when he's not broken, he turns into a jet, but the jet isn't super deformed. So the head actually transforms a lot. Like there's a lot of jet in the head, which I thought was kind of an interesting transformation. I imagine they're hoping to do a line of these, but not if they're gonna skimp on the armature like that. Super disappointing. I'll have to report it. Oh, the hand on your Unique Toys Prime broke? That's so sad. You talking about Challenger? That's a shame. But, you know, on the plus side, this guy does come with like a cool little... Oh my god, is everything going to fall over now? Everything? Cool little diorama here. That's nice of him. It is freaky. That's like a weird... Such a weird paint job. So you'd almost suspect like... what it's like lead paint, you know? You can kind of plug this thing into the diorama. It's pretty heavy. It's made out of a resin, so it's not quite die cast, but it's yeah, it's not die cast, but it's very dense. That's why the box was so heavy. I went to scratch my nose, but God knows what's on the... Now I'm really happy I was wearing gloves. There's like a weird grease. There was like an oil in the ball joint. Yeah, you like my channel? That's nice. Thank you, Logan. One of my favorites, too. So we have that in common. These guys do such nice packaging for a figure that fell apart immediately. That is fascinating. Yeah. Wonder what the other end of that is. I mean, if they're just going to send me a part, how's that work out? It's hard to tell what moves. Is a joint just stiff, or does it not move? I guess I'd be very careful with this arm, because it's made out of the same garbage piece of plastic. Yeah, it's pinned. That would be really hard to replace. I feel like they'd have to replace the whole figure. I think that's... Oh, it might be screwed. That'd be good news. I wish I could get in there. Oh, here's this. Looks like it's all connected. That's frustrating. What the fuck? Are the legs... Are the legs a separate... Did legs plug in here? I don't know. I don't know. There's a big chunk of the jet in there. That's neat. How does this connect? Because there's a swing arm that... A jointed elbow arm here that goes to here. And then it comes out the other side. There's a connection, and there's a connection. So at the very least, it must be that the whole chest has to come forward or something. Maybe it untabs somehow? Maybe I'm still not at the end of it. No, I think I am. I feel like the chest must untab, and then the whole thing disassembles from there. This is the one I ended up fucking with. That's funny. Oh, that hinges. Interesting. Hopefully that doesn't break. That'd be nice. That is weird. What the fuck? How is this attached? Interesting. I mean, I suppose I could look at the instructions. Won't that be fun? Let's hang out and watch me open the instructions. See if they have a... So this doesn't have a seam anywhere. It's not like a... Alright. Okay. That's alright. I have everything I need in my multi-tool. Bam, what's up? Chase this down to the bottom. Maybe the side would be easier to cut. Welcome to my ASMR channel. Crinkly rubber gloves. Anyway. Alright, we got that free. Let's take a look at pretty good instructions. Squeak, squeak. You lift that up, and then you separate that. Oh, yeah? The fuck you say? It's got some poor English translation in the instructions. So we are lifting this up. And then we are... How the fuck? Yeah, take off the knife and staff. Sorry, it's washed out. Open the skirt and middle buckle. Oh, there's a middle buckle, is there? Okay. That's why. There we go. That's what's holding it into place. And then you can... There we go. I have to remember that. Okay. All right. So we're getting closer to finding what this joint looks like from behind. It's a pin. Ah, son of a bitch. Pins are hard to work with. Which means if they send me the spare part, I got to figure out how to, like, pull out a pin. Wow. Pins are a pain. With this kind of material, you could damage the material trying to unpin it. The pin's not protruding from the front. Nope. So what you'd have to do is you'd have to shim the joint apart. You'd have to use like a knife. You'd have to use a blade to like separate the pin off of the joint. Pain in the ass. I don't know if there's like some larger part that you can just replace the whole part, or if they got to replace the whole thing. I feel like they might have to replace the whole thing. All right, well, that answers that question. The whole hand mine broke off. I plan to send off Big Spring on Saturday. I'll send you an estimate arrival time when I get one. Okay. That's awesome. Max Mox here is going to loan me his Big Spring. He's very brave. And I'm going to do a video on it. Give it the full triple changer treatment. And then I'll send it back to him. He suggested perhaps I would be able to keep it through the following Wednesday to discuss it, but we'll see if it bears discussion or not. It looks like a decent figure. Yep. That is super, super shitty. I'm just not sure. Oh, yeah, that's right. This thing can kind of flip back a little bit. Let's see. There we go. But it's supposed to rotate up or something. So, I mean, it seems like it's fairly important. The arm, I guess. Point made. But yeah. But it looks like there might be enough clearance that I could put a layer of some, build up the structure of it a little bit. I just don't like to hobby that much. But you can see like the thing, well, you can't see probably because the camera sucks. But you can kind of tell there was already a flaw in it before it broke. Like it's been cracked for a long time. It just fell right off. Ooh, yeah. I have to take a picture of it somehow. Be like this. That's separated. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Whatever this company's name is. Metal. Whatever their name is. Not well done. Not well done, sir, at all. So this week will be Transform Element number 2 Bumblebee, which is nice. One of the big ones I've been looking forward to. And then next week will be Max Mox Transform and Play Big Spring. That's fun. And then the following week will be either Mixmaster or something else, if something comes else in before then. But we'll certainly have to hold on this one until I get the replacement part or manage to fix it. And we'll see if I have enough interest in fixing it. And I can just get a replacement part. It was just kind of, I bought it on a whim. I thought it was cool. I have to tell them about it. I don't really have anything else to discuss right now. I'm going to get to work on figuring this guy out. And that's it. We've been at it for 45 minutes now. Most of which just me sitting here astonished that this thing broke instantly. Bummer, 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 bummer. Twisted right off. It's like they painted it and then they put an oil on it to try to prevent it from sticking. Or I don't know, man. It's weird. It's a weird material. It's kind of like almost a hard plastic, but it's like a little tiny bit rubbery. It has that rubbery. It's just weird. But that is definitely broken. I don't know, glues can do pretty impressive things. I bet if I filled those little channels with epoxy, in fact, I can get at them this way to rough it up a little bit so the epoxy bonds in. But I bet I could epoxy the shit out of that. I have to get a binary epoxy and try it. I keep doing things like that. I keep putting off, like, I got the upgrade, like the height extending kit for the Jinbao oversized Generation Toy gravity builder. If anyone knows what I'm talking about anymore after all those words. So Generation Toy made a combiner called Gravity Builder, kind of competed against Toy World's Devastator and kind of lost. But I liked it because it had like a chunky look to it that was very toy. But I didn't get the Generation Toy one. And then later Jinbao came with their oversized version of that. And then later on, Generation Toy released like a leg extender to make it taller, maybe kind of as tall as Toy World. And Jinbao followed suit and created an oversized for the oversized set. And I keep putting off building it because I'm like, oh, I should do a live stream where I build it or do a video where I build it. And I don't know. What do you think? Should I do a... I'm not going to do a live stream. It would just be... I can't work on something like that at arm's length. But I don't know. Your opinion, if you would want me to do a video, an edited video of me putting the parts on that thing. I don't know that it matters. Nobody cares. Nobody's talking anymore. Or is there something wrong? Max Mox was the last one to talk. Anyway, I'm going to go. Thanks for coming by. I appreciate everyone stopping by to look at my live stream. Anyone watching on replay, I'm sorry. It's just a live stream. And I will see you guys later. Bye.